One area I think Australia is showing very strong leadership in is the implementation of the National Disability Insurance Scheme. Do you have high hopes for the National Disability Insurance Scheme?
Absolutely. The NDIS is the best thing that's going to happen for the disability community in a long time. Well, in the history of Australia, actually, you're right. It is unique compared to what is available around the world. It's an excellent example of how the government has set up and followed the Convention of the Rights of People with Disabilities. And Article 19 talks about the rights of people with disabilities to live independent lives in the community. And I congratulate the government for their implementation of the NDIS. We do have it, but there's a lot of challenges in the implementation process, which would be the same with any huge change. There are those challenges, and I think we need to make sure that we keep committed, motivated and funded appropriately to see that the NDIS can achieve what it set out to achieve. I'm very pleased too that most Australians have been accepting. They know it's the right thing to fund it. But also, why do we need to have the discussion about funding? For example, if we look at Medicare, how would you feel if we were having that discussion with Medicare? So supporting people with disabilities, I'm very pleased that the funding's been made available and people are not whinging about it, but at the same time, we need to know that that NDIS funding is there for a particular reason. We need to make sure that people with disabilities are not disadvantaged and become equal citizens.
Yet at the same time, the NDIS brings some different challenges. One I'm aware of is in the philanthropic sector, where there's a thought now that government has sorted out disability, that there's lots of money for it, so therefore people don't need to support through philanthropic activity or donations or support. And I know it's impacting organisations like ours and others. Are you seeing that as a problem?
Well, in Australia, a person with a disability every day has barriers. Access to health, access to transport, access to education. And those challenges won't be resolved completely by the NDIS. However, at the same time, we need governments to understand that funding all of those other areas of life, so health, transport, access to services, is important. And the NDIS will support people to become independent. However, at the same time, they might need to travel from A to B. And we need to make sure that transport is accessible. And we need to make sure that buildings are accessible and well monitored. So the NDIS is one very small part of the big picture for people who live with a disability. So the Commonwealth and state governments need to understand that full funding, sure, with the NDIS, but there is also philanthropic funding that can also assist.